Hey. I think we're live. Are we live? Let us know if we're live.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I'm feeling somewhat alive.
We're definitely not dead. That's
No.
Hey, it's Friday night again.
Yeah, cheers, y'all.
Cheers.
Having beers, dude. Having beers. Cheers.
Cheers.
This beer is good for you. It's made in Mexico. I bought it before sweeping tariffs. Sweeping tariffs. Ruining everyone's lives.
Jesus.
Everyone.
All right.
So,
Paul's here. Paul's first in the chat tonight. Hey, Paul.
Paul. Hey, Paul.
I know, Paul.
You don't win a prize for being first, but it's good.
Well, it's Paul. We can send him a prize.
Yeah. Okay. What do you want, Paul? Let us know what you want. We'll
send us a prize, actually.
Paul just wants another copy of the Fix 7-inch. No big deal.
He's not an easy
well, I think Paul has a lot of prizes.
Yes, he probably has 3 copies of that. Cheers. Right. Cheers, Paul.
Cheers, Paul. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, y'all.
Happy Friday to you. Let's do the housekeeping.
Rolo's in the house too.
Like and subscribe.
I do not do this housekeeping, you can see.
This is a different kind of housekeeping. It's very easy. Just click a button and it's done.
Is that how? Oh, look. For cheers from San Diego. That's pretty cool.
Hey, Snake. Hey.
San Diego is basically right in between all of us. Like we're all East Coasters, except for you. Well, you might be on the East Coast for Japan, but I mean, while you're in Japan, Christian's in the house too. He's one of the best dudes ever. Here's Christian.
Hey. Cheers, everyone.
Before I forget, Anne, Lucy says hi.
Oh, hi, Dean, and hi, Lucy.
Hi, Lucy.
I miss you.
And hopefully Skittles might show up and make an appearance.
Oh, okay.
Let's see what happens.
Beautiful. All right. Everyone knows what's going to happen. Wow, what's going to happen?
I don't know what's going to happen.
We've got about 20 records, 5 each.
Oh, we were doing records?
Yeah.
I brought my 5 favorite bowling balls. I thought this was
added you to the wrong group.
I thought this was the bowling podcast.
I just want to say that my bowling ball actually says Ramones etched into it.
I'm just impressed at the fact that you have a bowling ball. You own your own bowling ball. That's pretty amazing. I have a bowling bag that I inherited from my great aunt, but no bowling.
I got nothing to offer on the bowling.
No? I have one more thing to offer on the bowling. In my town here in Catskill, the local bowling alley is called the Hobowl. HOEBOWL. They used to be the co-hosts at you, and they ended up
a meetup there.
Yeah, totally. So we're here to talk about records.
We are indeed. Unfortunately, let's do the bowling next week. This week we're doing records. We got 5 each. We'll go around and do 1 each. And we'll see what everyone's got. I'm excited to see what everyone's picked out tonight. It's going to be a great show. Make yourselves known in the comments. Participate. It's all about the comments as well, not only us 4. And let's get going, shall we? I'll kick things off.
Start us off.
Okay, I'll do my best. Always a bit of pressure to be the first.
That's because he's picking. Because Diane, his first record is "Children in Adult Jails."
Yes.
I have 2 copies of that behind me. Right?
Well, everybody's going to sign out then.
It was fun actually because before the show, we were doing the "Are you the right way round" thing with the camera, and Anne was like, "Oh, let me just check. I'll pull a record out," and she kind of pulled out a Japanese record, and I was like, "Oh, interesting choice," because my first choice is actually going to be a Japanese record, and Japanese garage punk has kind of quite an amazing history.
Yes.
And so many good bands. I started to sort of make a little list. I was like, no, there's just too many. So, some of them have got pretty famous, like Guitar Wolf, Teen Generate, 5, 6, 7, 8. And there's like kind of all sorts of Japanese punk, like garage bands, you know, from the more 50s and 60s style rock and roll bands to like super blown out noisy bands. It's such a sort of vibrant like garage punk scene we have over here, and but it's been a while since I've heard a new band that I really like, and all of a sudden this band, actually they've been around for about 10 years. I'm late to the game. They're kind of a new band. They've been around for a while, and I cannot stop playing this record. It's phenomenal. They're an all-girl band from Tokyo. They're called the HighMarts.
I've seen that. Because that looks like the Gizmos.
Questions, but yes, I was going to say, does it remind people of, of anything? And it's yes, it's a pastiche of the Gizmos 7-inch, right, Anne?
Mm-hmm.
Which I didn't know that. Actually, I had to be told that.
Gizmos are good. Gizmos are good.
Yeah, they kind of did the pastiche
Really
of
good.
that Gizmos 7-inch from like whenever that came out. But okay, so this band is from Tokyo. They're basically like 3 girls, but on this like this record, they had a guy in the band for a bit. So there's a guy in the picture in
ruining it
for everybody. So okay, yes, I was going to say that, but I'm glad you said it before I did. Yes, 3-piece all-girl band, like one constant member. They've only been around for about like 10 years, but they've had like 3 or 4 lineup changes, and they really do take like the best of all the different garages. It's like a little bit of poppiness, a little bit of like really that distorted guitar, a little bit of 60s, a little bit of 77 punk, and all their songs are incredible. But it's a confusing discography. As you can see, it says World Tour, Greatest Hits, and Dodgy Demo.
Oh, I like that.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's like side 1 is like songs from their 7-inches, but they kind of missed off a couple of the really good ones, and I don't know why that is, but it's not too big of a gripe. And then side B is like a demo that you can't get anywhere else. It came out in Germany. Man, what a phenomenal band. And Paul Simonon from The Clash was on a tour like a couple of weeks ago in Japan, like doing a DJ tour. And every town that he went to, he got up after he DJ'd and sang a couple of songs. And in Tokyo, cool. This band were like his backing band for a couple of songs, which must have been like pretty cool, like for them to be Paul Simonon's backing band. But this band should be big, like that. The songs are amazing. Like Daniel says, the record, it's missing like one of the best songs, like off the second side on the second side on their first 7-inch. It's not on this record, and I don't know why it isn't on here, but it's a kind of a minor gripe, really. Just super infectious, poppy, catchy, garagey, garage punk, and they call themselves like Killer Teen Girls Garage GS. I don't know if anybody knows what
GS group sound.
Yes.
Sound. Yeah.
So if you know what group sounds is, there's a lot of like group sounds like influence. Yeah.
Are they in your area? Like, can you see them?
Now that I've found out about them, I'm hoping that I will be able to see them like at some point. But yeah, Dean, that's good. Like GS is like the group sounds, right? Like,
yeah, I have back in the day when I used to live in the East Village, I used to be friends with all these Japanese rockers, and one of my closest friends, this guy Squeaky Dave Willents, who these two know, Diane and Ann both know. Squeaky was in a band called the Chimpanzees with all Japanese people, with Naoko Nozawa, who's very famous in Japan. Right. And he was also in the Stallions with 2 expat Japanese Japanese refugees who now are Americans, and they and because of what Squeaky was into, and because of meeting all those people in that scene, I got really into a lot of the Japanese history and stuff. Like I got really into like all that Japanese surf stuff, like the bunnies, and I love the golden cups and those and that's what they used to call it. That was back in the day. It was called group sound, Man, we can't hear you. Oh, Squeaky's
Oh,
here.
There is.
Squeaky is very responsible for my foray into a lot of Japanese and a lot of not just Japanese, a lot of Asian Asian rock and roll, Asian punk and stuff. He's a kind of an expert in that music and also film. He's an expert in Asian film, and he speaks. He lived in Taiwan. He speaks Mandarin, Chinese fluently. So he loves.
It's funny you mentioned the Bunnies because that was Takeshi Terauchi's band. They do a cover on this record. Takeshi Terauchi song.
Cool. My favorite band was the Golden Cups. The Golden Cups. That version of Hey Joe is the best version ever. I don't give a shit what anyone says. It's the greatest version of that song ever.
This is amazing. I was going to say, like, it's hard to imagine, like, you know, a Japanese band from the 60s being like really wild, but some of those group sounds bands had like the most amazing guitar tones, like super blown out.
Oh yeah.
And you get that too on the HighMarts records, that super blown out, distorted guitar.
Totally, I love that kind of stuff. So I probably love that stuff. And plus, as we know, I love the Gizmos. So sure. If there anything like that, I'd probably love it too.
Check out the HighMarts. There's a bunch of great like YouTube videos you can check out. Too. So that's my first pick. The HighMarts from Tokyo. They're so young. They're still so young, like in their 20s, I think.
Yeah. Hopefully, by the time they're in their 40s, the sweeping tariffs will be done. I'll be able to afford them.
All right.
Is that your new band name?
Sweeping
Keep
tariffs.
saying it's like a bit like these.
Yeah, like tomorrow we're gonna see like a post about this new band.
Yeah, it's making rock and roll great again. The Sweeping Tariffs.
All right.
First album actually be called Trade War.
Beautiful. All right.
So who's next?
Diane, what's your first pick? What you got?
I am next.
Yes, you are.
All right. We're going to start off with a down under pick. Stepmother.
Oh, I know that one. That's cool.
This is Planet Brutalicon. Let's see.
I don't have that. I got to get that record.
This is released in 2023, and they have a new record that I believe is already recorded. This one is green slime color.
Ooh, I like that.
It's kind of it's a little bit. It looks better in person than on the screen if my colors are right. But it looks like a smoothie. But it doesn't sound like a smoothie at all. Like a total grimy rock and roll. They're a power trio, sort of proto-punk, but there's a lot of everything that's good in it. So the guitar player is Graham Clyse. You know Graham?
Oh yeah.
So
he's from
what was he? Annihilation Time and Lecherous Gaze.
I saw him with Lecherous Gaze, and he was awesome.
Well, I've seen all of those bands, and I went to go see it. They played at TBI about maybe a month and a half ago, something like that.
Lecherous Gaze?
No. Stepmother.
Stepmother.
And I literally just follow his projects. I'm just a complete aside. And it was funny because I walked up, I was like, how do I actually know you? Like, because I don't even know how we met. And he's like, I think we had the same Thin Lizzy patch at South by Southwest. We started talking to each other. I'm like, that would probably make sense. But
Squeaky and I saw Lecherous Gaze open for Doom.
Oh, right.
Oh. Yeah, killer. It was totally killer. It was killer. And believe me, the Doom fans, especially the younger ones, have quite taken aback by the weirdo singer from Lecherous Gaze. He is so weird. That guy is creepy. He is so creepy. It's awesome.
That's wild because would you believe that Annihilation Time are playing in Osaka tonight?
Yeah.
They're on tour right now in Japan. So.
Oh, you're You're not going. You live in Tokyo.
You should have brought them to your house.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's daytime there, isn't
It is daytime. Yeah, I'm sure they're still either awake or awake in another way. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So anyway, but I'm a completist when it comes to Graham's records. This, short songs, lots of punch, lots of distortion. Not like Black Flag worship the way that Annihilation Time is, but just really just grimy, fucking great.
Wow.
Sort of not classifiable, but I don't.
Which is the best. That's the best way.
Yeah, exactly. He's just a renegade fucking guitar player.
He's amazing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a monster.
He's amazing. He's like Ginn and Jay Mascis like smashed together and a little more out of control.
And as long as you add in like a little bit of Rubber Chicken. Exactly.
Yes.
That's exactly it.
Right.
Like he's clowny, he's fun, But yeah, they're freaking awesome. And it says that it was mixed. At the bass player has a studio and it's called the Rat Shack.
Oh,
I like that too.
Nice.
That sounds very Australian.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, down there. Anyway, so that's
what label put that up?
It's a TP record.
Oh, okay.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, that's
interesting. Yes, I don't know if the next one is because he said literally it was just about ready to come out. So, but I think so because I believe someone from the label was there, and there was that kind of.
Oh, look who's here!
Hey.
Aww.
Hey.
Hi.
Say hi, Skittles.
Skittles.
Say hi.
Hi, Skittles.
Yay!
Oh my gosh. That was so cute.
Yeah, she's the best.
I'm good.
All right. All right, Dean. What you got?
Okay. I did all new releases. I'm listening to so much stuff now, so much. So I had to like compartmentalize, and I had to be like, okay, what new stuff am I listening to? And so the first one I bring up here is the new Savage Master record.
Wow.
So this is the brand new Savage Master, and this is the Dripping Candles version, which is quite nice as well. I don't know if you can see that. That's pretty insane. I also got I got this from the band personally, but I had ordered the lowest amount being a collector scum now. I ordered the first pressing, was just band only, the 200 black copy, so I have that too as well. But I'm friends with these guys a long time. I know Diane knows. I think you know Adam and those guys a long time too, right?
I'm not
Diane?
Sure.
Not
I've seen them.
Well, yeah, probably. Well, Adam from this is really Adam's band, and Adam is he switched over to bass recently, and Adam he was originally the drummer in Nashville Pussy, and then he started the Hookers, and then when the Hookers fell apart, he did Brothers of Conquest, I produced that record.
I love that record. All the colors.
Oh, thank you. That was a fun record.
I fucking love that record. Oh my god.
Thank you. That was a fun record. I actually did that in New Brunswick at Chris Pierce's place.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, a long time ago. And then so Adam is brilliant, unbelievably prolific songwriter, and then he when Brothers of Conquest broke up, he reunited the Hookers for a little bit. And then he met Stacy, the singer, and she had never been in a band before ever. Wow. And he's like, "We got to do this band." And they started dating. I don't know if they're married now or not, but they've been together for a long time, and they're super cool people. And I know her and the drummer also, John Littlejohn, pretty well. And they used to stay at my house when I used to live in Brooklyn. Every time they'd come through, and they were a band that and they. Adam always wrote great songs, but it was great to see the progression of this band, because when they started, they were pretty brittle. Like the songs were really good, but it was pretty brittle. Like Stacy really didn't know how to sing. She had a cool voice, but she didn't know how to sing. The band was always changing because he couldn't keep a band together for too long. And it was a little brittle, but it was still great. Like you could see the potential in it. And then this record, they went beyond that potential. This record is like fucking amazing. This record as a female fronted metal record, it's up there with all the greats, up there with like Doro and Warlock and Acid and Chastain. It's like that good. It's that fucking good. And I like their early records. I've seen them on almost every tour. But it's so exciting to watch a band progress to the point where they're like super pro now, like unbelievably pro. And this record is phenomenal. Like the songs are phenomenal. Production's phenomenal. Playing is amazing, like better than ever. They got this new guy in the band, Nick Burks, playing guitar, and he is just phenomenal. And I'm excited. I'm so excited that they're getting so much recognition, doing headlining tours now, and it's just exciting to see a band. It's it's sort of like when you were a kid and heard Meat Puppets 1, which was amazing and totally fall apart, and then you went to Meat Puppets 2 and you're like, oh my god, this band learned how to play. And not that Adam didn't know how to play, that guy could play every instrument, but the band totally gelled in that. You if you went from their earliest singles and demos to go to what they're doing now, it's like holy shit. It's like they are a whole different band. They went from like a very cool amateur band that could almost play with punk bands, but they were really amateurish in a way, and not amateurish. That's a pretty poor word. It was just brittle in a way. Songs are great, and now it really has gelled together to like be an absolutely powerhouse, competitive rock and roll metal band. So I highly recommend that record. I think the songs are great, and I'm just psyched to see friends who
are they on the road with Sanhedrin right now?
They're on the road with Sanhedrin in Europe, and then they're coming through town soon in another couple of weeks with Night.
Oh wow!
With Night, yeah. So yeah, they're doing better than ever. It's just very exciting to see. Also they're from Lexington, Kentucky. Not much comes out of there rock and roll wise. Very little that you see of. There are new bands now, but not. It's just exciting to see this band that came from nowhere and started working and never stopped working. So really cool.
Excellent.
That's great. I didn't know they had a new record, so I'm excited to check that out for sure.
Yeah. It's on what's that label called? Shadow Kingdom Records. I think this is their third record on Shadow Kingdom. Cool. I think it is.
Cool.
That guy was in. Was he in 9 Pound Hammer also? Adam Neal for a little while.
I know he's really well. No, what's his name? The other guy, the singer from Nashville Pussy, Blaine, is the guitar player from 9 Pound Hammer.
I don't know why I thought Adam, like maybe he played with them a little bit.
Adam may have been in a very early incarnation of them, because Adam was originally a drummer, so I think probably it's a very incestuous scene down there. Not many people doing that stuff. So,
but I mean, all those bands are so great. I love those bands. I don't know. You guys introduced me to some metal that I don't usually would pay attention to, but I'm open-minded enough to like trust my friends. So I will take a listen to that and see if it works for me. Because I don't, I have a smaller umbrella than you guys do, I think. So all right. So I was gonna start with something else, but I'm switching gears. I'm still gonna do that one that I was gonna start with, but I'm gonna go to a different thing. Wait, sorry, let me grab it down. Why did I put this so far out of my way? All right. Okay, so my first thing tonight I'm changing is because I wanted to match up with the little Japanese action. Cool. So this is okay. So this is new to me, and it is called Okay, all right. It's okay. it says like Owen, but it's like
Yoan.
D-O, and it's pronounced, apparently, I learned because I've read this whole book, and it's wonderful. It's a whole interview with the member of the band. They pronounce it D-Oven because they wanted it to sound German, even though they're Japanese. So, all right. So this is amazing. This record is amazing, you guys. Okay. So first of all, I got this only like 2 months ago. I was in Florida and I found like an amazing record store, like a tiny little record store in Florida called Jerk Dog Records. So if you're ever down in like Clearwater area,
Dog?
it's Jerk Dog. It's like this big, and it was
Jerk
but it was
Dog,
perfect.
love it.
Jerk Dog. It was amazing. The record store is amazing. And the guy who owns it, I talked to him forever because that's what I do. I talk like crazy. But anyway, that guy was awesome. And so this band, D Oven, is this band is from, like, they formed in 79.
Oh, wow.
And they were around from 79 to like 83. And then they made tapes. And the tapes were like, let me show you how many songs are on this. I'm terrible at showing the record and the lighting and stuff. Do you see all these songs? These are all songs. There's 100 songs on this. So sometimes a song is like 10 seconds long. Okay, so they were like, we're making tapes, and there were like 100 songs on each side of the tapes way back then. And so this was just recently reissued. This was issued in 2024 in General Speech Records. They're the ones that put out the Deef. Do you know that? Is it? Am I saying
they
that
put
right?
out Swankies, like tons of stuff, but that was some.
Yeah. So that was another reissue. So this is, they're Japanese, like I said, and it's a guitar, a bass, drum machine, synthesizer, and like tape manipulation.
Cool.
It is nothing at all. When I saw this cover, I kind of was thinking like hardcore, Japanese hardcore. Nope. And even though it says sometimes like on the description, like Japanese hardcore, that is completely wrong, totally erroneous. This is like the birth of egg punk. I talk a lot about egg punk. Let me just say, every time I'm on here, I'm talking about egg punk. For whatever reason, I love egg punk. This is almost like the beginning of egg punk. And it's like, I don't know, like garage, but synth, but what actual punk, tape loop, 10-second long songs. But also, all of a sudden, I'm listening to this album. I can't tell what any of these titles are. All of a sudden, I'm hearing Bored Teenagers by the Adverts. They do that. They didn't call it that on the back of the thing. They called it Sad Teenagers. Then all of a sudden, at the very last song of side one, X Buzzcode Timer was X Lion Tamer by Wire. And I was like, okay, wait, what is happening here? And I'm sure that I heard 21st Century Schizo Man, whatever that song is called. That was in here too somewhere. It's just absolutely amazing, and I really highly recommend this to everyone. And this booklet, I learned a lot about like Japanese punk. The other thing I want to tell you is I can't really figure out who the band members are. It's just ON1 and ON2, but they ran a label, Japanese tape label called XA Records. And they released in 1982 the very first demo tape of Shonen Knife.
Oh,
cool.
And so they were like part of that whole scene. I wrote down something else. It kind of reminded me too a little bit of something like Simply Saucer. Do you guys know that band? Yes. Like that sort of like proto punk.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just, but there's also that drum machine in the background of it all too. So it's just really different than anything I expected. I just bought it on chance without knowing anything about what was going to be inside, and I was so happy and excited.
I gotta say, when I saw you hold up the record cover, I thought it was going to be Noi.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, right. I did too. That was actually the very first thing I thought of when I saw it in the record store. Yeah. Totally right. And the truth is, there is probably some kraut rock influence in here too, because of it's definitely experimental. It's not there, like you said about somebody said something. Diane, you were like saying about the band you just about sort of indescribable.
Yeah,
This is
really
indescribable. So this is like so different and unusual and wonderful, and I totally recommend that. Like,
you'll be pleased to hear there's another LP. There's 2.
Oh,
yes,
is there?
There's like 2 volumes.
That has 100 more songs.
They both come out at the same time. So you've got to get them both.
Got homework for you.
Yeah, all right.
Is that a double album or just single record?
Just one record.
Oh God.
I'm telling you, sometimes the songs are like 10 seconds long. Like in that little booklet I was reading that they would just like fill the tape. So like if the tape had space, they would just make little pieces. And like I said, like, you know, they were like cutting and piecing things together. It's really neat and really cool. And I definitely recommend it. And I'm going to put my first record up.
Super cool.
Nice.
Japanese.
It's wild. Yeah, there's like another one, but you can probably still get it direct from General Speech.
I just got it. Like I said, just like 2 months ago.
They were from here in Osaka, but like nobody. They were super, super obscure. You know, if it wasn't for General Speech, they would have been lost.
Oh, yeah. It's like. I mean, it is punk though. Still, like it definitely belongs to punk, but it's like avant-garde, and it's just really, really cool. And like I said, reading that whole, you know, everything that was in there, that was just a really neat to learn all about that time period and what was going on then.
Cool.
Beautiful. Very cool.
All right, I'm going to change my order. Sorry, I got to.
I wish I had
show off a little bit.
I can't unzip my sweatshirt until I can do that thing that was going to be first, so I could take off my sweatshirt because I'm sweating. But
just
no,
because, like
yet.
Dean said, he had 2 versions of that record. So this is the one I showed, but I just got to say that I also like this band so much I had to get the 2, like the other.
Cool.
For Japan only imports with the Obi and the white vinyl copy, and I don't usually do that too much, but with the HighMarts, I just had to. You know, they're that good. So.
That's dedication
or stupidity. Like one of the.
It's what we do.
Well, right? as a record collector,
yes, exactly.
Absolutely.
Yes, proto egg punk and egg punk meets Osaka.
Yeah, they were from. Actually, it's funny. They are from a town north of here called Hirakata, and that was the town where I first became an English teacher. Worked as an English teacher in that town, but of course, I had no idea that, you know, I was working in the town where the Avant originated all those years ago.
You mean everyone wasn't talking about
nobody?
him?
No, none of the teachers in the teachers' room, like nothing.
No? Yeah, right.
And just, I gotta say, it's like, and you'll be like, they've just put out like a compilation album called Miniatures, which is all bands from that scene. So if everybody,
that would be cool.
There's more where that sort of came from, kind of thing. So keep your eyes out for the Miniatures compilation. Okay, this was a blind buy. I bought it because of the cover, the font. I love the font on this record. The year and the label. It's like it's sympathy for the record industry, 1999. So I figured I couldn't go like too wrong with it, and it was super cheap. So I was like, okay, give this one a chance. And I was kind of, when I got home and looked it up, I was kind of, my mind was blown a little bit by what I discovered. I'm talking about the Electrocutes and
the
Electrocutes and Steal Your Lunch Money,
AKA.
So the first thing that I don't usually talk about things like this, but this was super cheap. But when I went on Discogs, I was like, what? Apparently, this is kind of it's a very expensive record now, and I did not expect to find that to be the case. But it's the Donners under a different name, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Which I didn't know when I bought this record. I can't quite get the story right. Like, there's differing tales about, like, oh, it was, you know, recorded before the Donners, or it's like a side project, or this, that, and the other. But if you look it up, it was recorded in '96, so the Donners had already had like a couple of singles out before then, right? So, but they must have been concurrent with each other, right? back in like the mid 90s. But
I mean, it's all the same. It's all the same
people. Yeah, it's all the same people. But this is almost like a hardcore record. It's like
yeah, I've read really recently about why they did that, like why they didn't put it out as a Donna's record. But now I completely forget why. But I mean, it was just simultaneous.
But it doesn't.
To that. But yeah,
it
totally
doesn't sound.
different.
And it's funny because I looked it up a little bit, and there's people who are obviously Donna's fans from like maybe the Donna's Get Skin Tight era. They discovered them and they kind of went back and listened to this and like, this is absolute garbage. It's terrible. They couldn't play their instruments. Blah blah. So, then that means it's great. You know, it's like it's super raw. It's basically it's like early US hardcore. It's what it sounds like to me, like super raw, like garagey, like hardcore punk. Kind of blew me away. I was like, and then when I found out it was the Donnas, I was like doubly surprised that it was just the Donnas under a different name. But yeah,
maybe that's what the Donnas sounded like before, because they were kind of, for better or for worse, they were kind of manipulated by their producer to be like kind of poppy, which it wasn't bad at all. They had some great songs and they had some success. But they were sort of like runaways, you know, in a way. Like someone else came in and was like, no, this is what you're going to sound like. This is what you're going to sound like, even though, you know, so maybe that was where they were coming from. And they were like, fuck this. We're going to do what we used to do or what we want to do for one record while the Donnas are taking off.
Yeah, I actually just found the thing that I had read. This is what they said. They said that the Electrocutes was their real band and the Donnas was the side project.
But Dean's right. They would not have gotten any sort of commercial success with this like music. It's like super raw, like early US hardcore, like super primitive early US hardcore. But that guy, I think it's probably the same guy. This guy Tom. Is it the same guy that like kind of wrote their songs and wanted them to be more commercial?
Yeah,
Darren was the one Darren Raffaelli. He was the one that like was their manipulator at the beginning.
This one is recorded by Tom at Trainwreck Recording Studio in '96 and mastered of Fantasy. But everything about this record surprised me about like how good it was, and then finding out that it was the Donnas, and so that's why I still to this day I love the blind buy. You know, it's like we never know what's going to happen when you pluck a record out of the bins. You know,
totally.
It's nice font though. It's like a spacey font.
It is. I like it. It's one of my favorites. I don't know what the actual name of it, but
yeah, I like that.
You can't go wrong with that font.
You know who's a font expert is Reverend Norm from Boris the Sprinkler. So I'm sure that if you just asked him, he would be able to tell you.
So cool. But it just does. I mean, I haven't heard the really early Donna singles. I've heard they're like pretty raw, like garage punk.
They're Ramonesy, fuzzy. I mean, I love it. I think it's wonderful. I like it better than what their later stuff. But I understand that wasn't really what they wanted to do, so they went and did their own thing, which was like not what I like. But it's really good, that other stuff.
But they had another band called Raggedy Ann too, right? That also was.
Yeah, I don't know if that has ever got anything released.
Me neither. But yeah. This is like a $200 record now on Discogs. If you kind of follow Discogs pricing, which I tend not to do too much, but yeah, it was. I guess because of the Donna's connection, I assume it hasn't been repressed or anything. So
yeah. I wonder if the owner of that label, John, I wonder he was trying to sell the label, but I don't know if he ever sold it.
Oh, really?
Sympathy.
Who knows? What you got, Diane?
Yes. What's it? Next pick now.
I have. Let's see. My Dolls from Houston.
My Dolls.
Oh.
You know My Dolls?
No.
Show of hands. So, so they formed in 1978. This is called It's Too Hot for Revolution. This record came out in 2015. they've not been continuous all the way through. They definitely took a break, but this is art and expression and punk and people who can't play their instruments finding the sounds that they want to find for the songs. I can relate to this record quite a bit because this is sort of what Children in Adult Jail sounded like and what our approach was. It was like, oh, that's good. Keep playing that. And let me find something to go with that. And nobody knew anything. This is 4 women and 1 man. And My Dolls, they're named My Dolls for the over-the-counter cramp medication.
Midol. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yes. And apparently they did play with the cramps at some point in their history. So, who has that flyer? Like Cramps and My Dolls. but for me, this is like the real spirit of punk rock. It's pissed off. It's anger driven. It's, the women for the most part are really the in charge of this band. Although the drummer is the same drummer, from the beginning. The undercurrent of this record is very tense, and it's just it's political. It's when they do a musical version of Fair Stand the Fields of France, which is a Charles Bukowski poem.
Oh.
And there's that. There's their little insert. And this one is red. It's red. It's regular red. Ta-da, ta-da. But yeah, they're super cool, from Houston from the beginning, so they've got ties to Really Red. I think that their first album was maybe on CIA.
Yeah.
And so they're just a part of all of that, all like the Texas punk history.
Yeah.
And they're smart, they're cool, they're just, and they're, yeah.
Sounds cool. What label put that out?
This is, what is this?
I think it's like their own.
I think it is too. I think it's a female name. Betsy.
Betsy.
Betsy. Betsy Records
Betsy.
#9.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
So and they said that I interviewed Trish, the guitar player, and her cousin George, who's the drummer, in like 2017 on FMU, and they said it's Too Hot for Revolution is about living in Houston, and sometimes it's just so fucking hot you're just like, whatever, man, the tariffs, whatever.
Yeah, no. I listen, Houston. I was on tour in the summer, and I remember getting to Houston. We were on tour and getting out of the van, and I was like, "Holy shit, dude! Cut the air with a fucking knife here. It sucks." I was like, "How do people live here?" And you saw it was middle of summer. You saw no one outside, not one person. Everyone who did anything was like in their car. And they got as close as they can to whatever they had to go in and ran back out. It was disgusting. It was so gross.
Not exposure for outward for humans.
It was gross. I did not like it. Did not like it at all. But I had good times though.
Heaven, Hell, Houston.
Well, I had good shows. I had good shows over there, but it's a weird town. Definitely.
Oh yeah. That Really Red is one of the bands that I never saw. And they're probably one of my top 3 hardcore bands for sure.
Yeah, they were great.
Such a vicious fucking, oh my god.
Yeah.
So smart. So, and these guys, they tie together. There's a lot of images out there of you, Ron, and them, and them on double bills and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I didn't know about. I'm surprised they're not on that Bloodstains Across Texas comp.
Oh.
That's a really good comp.
There's
a bunch of good bands on it.
They were probably left off because they were girls.
Maybe. Maybe. I don't know.
A lot of their topics are about the female experience. But yeah.
Cool.
All right, beautiful.
What do you got, team?
Yes.
So I'm I thought this is the new Ravagers record.
Oh, yay!
Put that in there. So new Ravagers record, and this is also I think it's kind of a beautiful record, right? Is it? Let's see. Yeah, it's like blue with the black, kind of nice. So the Ravagers are they're like half Baltimore guys and half New York City guys with one guy who grew up in Baltimore. My friend Matt Gabbs is the lead guitar player, and Sam Harris, who used to be in Sweet Things and a couple of the bands, he plays bass. Really great dudes. Matt Gabbs is an awesome dude and also amazing guitar repair guy. Awesome guy. He was in the Biters, and the Biters were pretty good. They were just pretty good. And when I say just pretty good, they had so much potential, but never really reached that potential. Well, I toured with them a bit when I was in Dictators, and I really liked them, but they just didn't, you'd see them and they did everything right and they looked great. They're great looking guys and they had a cool look, but you just didn't walk away remembering the songs. And that's a big problem when you're doing like this. I don't think they call themselves power pop, because they're not. They're really punk rock, like more punk rock. So they just weren't sticking. Like I liked everything about them, except they just didn't. Songs weren't there. But to their defense, Tuck Smith, the singer and the songwriter from the Biters, he produced this Ravagers record because he's friends with those guys. And this is really where it's at. I mean, this record is really impressive. Like it's snotty punk rock vocals, like really melodic, like in the Buzzcocks kind of vein or Exploding Hearts. Ooh. Yet there's also this weird undercurrent of like really early punky new wave of British heavy metal thing.
Oh man, now you got me.
When I say that, I'm talking about like, and I know you know this, and I know Diane knows this stuff. Like Vardis, the first Def Leppard record, really like kind of raw, punky, like new wave of British heavy metal, like not, they don't go into like fucking Iron Maiden, or though there are guitar harmonies on some of the stuff, which I'm always a sucker for. And anyway, because I love Thin Lizzy so much, but there's the playing is great and the songs are great, and there's this undercurrent that I love of this like new wave of British heavy, whether they know it or not. I don't even know if they know this, but there is this undercurrent of like a little tiny bit of that early Iron Maiden, like when Iron Maiden was doing the guitar harmonies and the more simpler stuff from them, and definitely like the Vardis kind of like hard rock leaning into metal. It's not really metal yet, and like it's like neat records with minus Venom, but like neat records, a lot of like Matt Gabb's guitar playing is so good. It's very much like there's a lot of Fast Eddie Clarke in there, and then there's a lot of that great 90s rock. And let me preface this: the 90s were and are the worst ever. So when I say great 90s rock, I'm talking about like 3 or 4 bands, and 2 of those bands would be the Helicopters in that time, and of course Turbo Negro. So they have a lot of that in there. They have a lot of that Turbo Negro. Helicopters kind of, like it was like it's metal, but it's not. It's power pop metal. Like it just fucking, it's killer. And I did not expect that from these guys, because like I said, I liked the Biters. I liked them, and I liked touring with them. They were great guys, and I'm friends with Matt Gabbs, and I don't want to say anything bad about them. They weren't bad. They just weren't memorable. Like everything about them was cool. This is memorable songs. This is like what I wanted to hear from that kind of stuff. And it's taking a lot from that poppier Helicopter stuff and the poppier Turbo Negro stuff and still has this kind of weird metal edge. Like I said, I don't know if they even realize that they're doing it, but man, it is a really good record. Really good, way better than expected. I expected just more of the same, but it is not. It is really good, really memorable songs. And
one of those bands that like I wanted to hate because like everyone was talking about them. Like they got hyped up really fast. Yeah. And they're so great. I mean, they're so good. Like you know, I was like, oh, you know, this is the new hot band. But I mean, holy cow, they totally deserve all of that. And I love the label that they're on, Spaghetti.
Yeah, Teddy's great. Like Teddy's so cool. He's awesome. Great kid.
They're just awesome. Yeah. So like that also just is like an extra plus. And you know, that almost like when I first saw that, I was like, oh, okay, so they're probably good. And then I was like, oh wow, they're really great. Really this is like, and like you're saying, Dean, I feel like they have kind of like a cross appeal. There's like something for everyone.
Exactly.
So
I kind of feel like if that band got, I hate talking this way, but it's so many years in the fucking industry, in the quote unquote business and industry. But I have a feeling like if they had like a top notch publicist, they could be really big. They could be way bigger than they are. But I mean, like whatever that means in this day and age, you know, like, but they're really good. They're way better.
And I feel like they're really part of like it's another one of those things where again they were getting hyped. But they're part of the scene. Like they're not like they weren't like these people that just dropped out of the sky out of nowhere. They were like, you know what I mean? So like they really they're doing everything right. They're really great.
I think they're really great, and I think that record is fantastic. I think it was really great. I knew it was going to be good because I'm friends with Matt. I know he's a great guitar player, you know, because he toured with the Biters, and I knew I was going to like it for the most part, but I didn't expect to like stick with me. Like the songs are really good. They're really well written, really well crafted. Like as songwriting goes, like it's not just like they come in and hit you with a riff, and it's like, yeah, they hit you with a riff, and then they remember like, oh yeah, when we go to the guitar solo, we change we change to something else to make it stand out, and then we change it. We have really cool bridges that make sense. It's like really well crafted, and like Ann said, it'll appeal to somebody who's a Buzzcocks fan, but it'll also appeal to somebody who's like into Turbo Negro and into Helicopters, and also appeal to people who are into it. I even think it would appeal to like even like the hair, like the sort of hair metal people, like people who like you know, like people who love the glam stuff, like Hanoi Rocks, and you know the fun stuff, like Smack, and you know the good stuff, you know, like you know. So I think they have a lot of potential there. It's a really great record.
Whew, man, awesome. Used a lot of words that I'm interested in, and guitar. I'm gonna add guitar harmonies to my lexicon as well. I've never heard that before.
Guitar harmonies. You know, I'm such a sucker for that shit because I love Thin Lizzy so much, and I also love Wishbone Ash. The only band that I cannot stand. The only band I can't stand that does guitar harmonies amazingly, and they do everything amazing. I just can't stand them. I can't stand Boston. The band Boston. Boston does everything that I should like, but I cannot stand them. It's like I can't turn the radio off faster enough when they come on the radio. The only one I reach for faster is like Journey or Pearl Jam. Like you can't. No. Guitar harmonies, I'm a sucker for that shit. Sucker. A lot of the stuff I'm playing, a lot of stuff I picked out today. So tons of guitar harmonies.
Beautiful. Nice. All right, Ann, what's yours?
All right. My next one is like a one that I added at the last minute, and it's really corny that I added it. It's not the record's not corny, but actually it is a little corny. But wait, oh my gosh, somehow that happened. Sorry. All right. This is so corny. I'm the corniest, and I really did this for like shtick, and for like just for fun. and I cannot believe no one has ever done this album. But it's like almost like you think like no one's doing it because hasn't someone done it? But I looked on the list, so this is so corny. I'm such a nerd.
Oh my! What?
There you go.
How did that happen?
All right.
I was like, come on. I don't even have to talk about this because I mean,
we have done Cocksparrow, but we just did other records,
but not this one.
Right.
And I know it's so corny because it's like obvious, like, you know, you're on a show talking about punk records. Let's talk about this. But I was like, I'm wearing my shirt. You're wearing your shirt. I changed my record at the last minute. So I'm talking about this. I don't really have that much to say. I love this album. It didn't reinvent anything. It's not going to win any awards for like anything except for it's so catchy and stupid and wonderful. And I mean, who doesn't love this, right?
I'm going to get onto this a little bit. Another one of my.
I don't have that much more to say about it because we all know exactly what it is. There's nothing. I don't have to describe it to anyone. I don't have to like talk about the band or the catchy songs or watch your back and I got your number, Brian Squad. You know, take them all. Take all that. I can't sing, by the way, in case anybody.
I remember
like that. So I just wanted to be corny and wear the same shirt as you and listen to this record, and that's it. That's all I have to say.
I think that's one of those records where like if someone doesn't like that record, like I don't like them.
Well, but this is funny though. I didn't realize until I kind of got on social media and stuff. There are a lot of people who don't like Cocksparrow. I wasn't aware of this until I kind of started being on the internet and stuff. But I mean, that record especially, and the one before it too, I think they were doing something kind of new, like mixing like the Small Faces and like the 60s mod stuff with the punk and mixing those two together. And I think to me, it sounded not like none of the other punk that I heard up until that point.
That's it.
Yeah, but I just mean like, it's not like they're the most talented on any front, but it all came together and it's just so fun, and you just like every single thing is catchy, and like now I'm gonna have these songs in my head for like the next bunch of days, and that's okay because I love it. So that's the album. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
I think it's like
what else can I
say?
say?
McFall's vocals, because he does sound a bit like God, I'm forgetting his name now. Jesus, that's bad. The guy from the Small Faces, and the Humble Pie. He's got that kind of Cockney.
Steve Marriott.
Yes, Steve Marriott. Yeah, he's kind of doing the Steve Marriott.
Yeah, I love Small Faces. I love that.
Love the Faces. Love Small Faces. Love Humble Pie. I love it. Love it all.
Yeah. I've learned to love Humble Pie. That came to me late, but of course, our mutual friend Dean Ron, he teaches me a lot. My whole life, he's taught me a lot about music, and he's brought Humble Pie into my life now, and now I'm a fan.
so good.
I love that stuff.
Yeah.
So, like I said, what else can I say? There it is. I'm corny. We're in the same shirt. It's cute for the picture.
Amazing. It's going to be an amazing thumbnail with like 2 Cocksparrow t-shirts on it.
Although my hair is so long now. It's
I remember like that's one of the. I remember like I had a friend called Steve when I was still into like new wave British heavy metal, and he was into punk, and he had his brother's record collection. We would sit in his bedroom like 1982, 83. When he put that record on, I immediately kind of sat up on the bed. And I was like, Steve, who's this? What's this? And he was like, oh, Cocksparrow. God, I'd never heard of them. But especially the song Working, like that song in particular, for some reason, I was like, stop, put that one on again. Play that one again. And we had to play it like 5 times in a row. It's like, that Working is my favorite song from that record. But,
awesome. I'm looking at the comments about what people are saying.
It's like they kind of transcend the OI tag or any kind of tag that you want to put on.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, now I had that. I didn't have that on vinyl. That's actually only like the last few years that I got it. I had it on a CD for like so long that just ever lit. Because for a while, like when I was like finding out about it and all, it was like impossible to find that
Right, I think it was out of
record.
print for a
Like
while.
during like a certain time period, like you couldn't find it or it was too
Yeah, it was out of print
expensive.
for a while.
And then so then like I was like, oh, I can put it on CD, and then I just like listened to this. It was like reissued. I finally got a copy of it.
Yeah. Nice.
Very nice.
Take them all. Take them all.
Take them all.
Okay. I can't do a smooth segue into that, but Dean did mention Neat Records a little bit, and this band is from Newcastle. That's the best I got.
That's where Venom are from.
Exactly, yeah. So this band is from. That's my very, very, very tentative like link to like a pick that came before. This is a new band though, out of Newcastle. This came out last year. I'm kind of just getting to a lot of records that came out last year. There's still a whole bunch of records that came out last year that I'm just like getting to now. I talked about this label last week. It's on Wrong Speed Records, who are from the UK. I've been delving deep into their catalogue recently. This came out last year, like I said. A band called Irked. Which is a very kind of soft word for being angry. It's like, mildly irritated, like a little bit annoyed, it's like a very soft word for being angry. But it's funny, maybe it was on purpose because this is a super, super like angry sounding band. So maybe it's kind of like a little bit tongue in cheek, it's one of those, it could have been a small record, but they made it a big record. It's a one-sided 12-inch, which I'm okay with. I'd rather have the big one than the little one, personally. And it sounds better on 45, like a one-sided 45 RPM 12-inch. Man, this is a ferocious record. That's why I keep laughing at the name Irked, because it's like it's way irked. The promo sticker likens them to Piss Jeans and Gloss.
Yeah, Gloss. They're from New York.
Yeah, right? Which is pretty accurate, that description. Yeah. Sometimes you look at like hype stickers, play the records, like what the hell are they talking about? But I think in this case it's pretty accurate.
Yes. Hype stickers could be
right. It's like
like that band I mentioned earlier, Boston. When their first record came out, the hype sticker said the next Led Zeppelin.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You know what I say to that? You know that? Fuck you.
Yeah.
It's like when the Knack was called the next Beatles.
Oh, come on.
They were right. Actually, the Knack was the next Cheap Trick.
Yes, but they weren't though. But they
wish.
Hey, the first three. Hey, listen, the first three Knack records are good.
Yeah.
I will go that far and say they're good. They're not Beatles.
They're not.
They're just the Knack.
Just
good deep cuts on the records. It's not all about that one song. What am I talking about?
Yeah.
Irked. So okay, so this is a young band, and man, it's so angry sounding. It's very like trebly and harsh and abrasive. It's got those like transistor radio guitars,
That's because you're playing side 2, Mike.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it sounds so trebly. It's like, the songwriting kind of dipped off a bit on side 2. Not as catchy as side 1. But it does sound like a kind of a noise rock band, like played by punks. It's like
this description over that I'm looking at says they might sound a little bit like Flower.
I didn't mention it because I personally do not think they do at all. So and also completely different like aesthetic and everything. But I saw that actually, and there was a few other bands kind of mentioned too. But I think Piss Jeans and Gloss is a pretty accurate description. Vocalist, super angry, female vocalist Helen, higher register tone, trebly, harsh. Pounding drums. There's no like hardcore beat. It's just like pounding relentlessly away drums, and great. And they've got a new album coming out, a full-length album coming out this year. I was going to go off on a tangent about this, but I'm just wondering whether I should or not. It's kind of connected with the Cock Sparrow thing a little bit in a way. It's about like being on social media and finding out that all these people, there's a lot of people that don't like Cocksparrow. There's a kind of recurring theme on social media, and it's always like British guys over 60. Like, I'm not quite over 60 yet, but it's like complaining about young new bands, especially like Amel and the Sniffers, and any band that gets a little bit popular, you know. And it's everyone. I'm kind of tired of it. I'm thinking if those kind of people heard this band, they would say similar things about this band. It's very young. Like, they're young people, and it's like it doesn't quite fit in with what they think punk should be, and why are they so popular? Blah 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 blah. And it's very tiresome to hear that kind of stuff. And I didn't want to mention it, but I did. But get over yourselves. You know, it's like there's young people making punk in the world, and it's not all about what you did in like 1981 or whatever.
Yeah, and we should be glad that they're still making music.
Exactly.
I think it's so exciting.
About that, you know, and I think I can't stand people who are online complaining about Amel and the Sniffers. It annoys me so much. But anyway, I'm irked. I'm irked about it. It irks me no end to keep reading this stuff. Get over yourselves. Anyway, there you go. Irked. From Newcastle upon Tyne. Check it out. On Wrong Speed Records, which is a great label from the UK.
Oh, very cool.
There you go. There you go. I'm done. I got it all out. I didn't say it, but I had to.
You're done being irked.
I am, I guess. I'm now irkless. There you go. All right. Diane, what's your...
All right, I've got a 7-inch this time. It fits in the screen real easily.
Oh, L-Dopa.
I love this record! I fucking love this record! It's from 1996, and it is the most venomous, heavy crust, fucking awesome record. I don't have their album on vinyl because this was really CD days.
Yeah.
And so they're from Oakland. There was a dispute about their name, and they had to change their name to 1332. And I had to support them. Actually, I found this record was $1.99 somewhere. This is one of my favorite 7-inches. They're just wickedly mean sounding. Oh.
Prank Records, right?
On Prank.
Yeah.
What?
That's Prank. Is that on Prank Records?
Yeah, it's on Prank. Yeah. Their album is on East Bay Menace.
Okay.
But yeah, they are from Oakland. The 1332 one is purple, but it's that darker. You can't. It's not. I don't know which way to move it with this damn camera thing. Anyway, this one's purple, and actually, so yeah, they're pre-Watch Them Die, and they're just the meanest band I ever heard. So it says L-Dopa here behind the lyrics, and on this one it says 1332 behind the lyrics.
Do you know the story about the name, Diane? Why did they have trouble with the name?
There was a band from Boston named L-Dopa.
Ah, okay.
And they had to change their name.
Okay.
Yeah, and the band from Boston had some fucking horrible song. It was.
Their name is Boston, obviously.
Well, no,
conversation getting upset.
But yeah, no, the band L-Dopa from Boston had some song that was semi-catchy and was on alternate FM radio for 5 minutes, so they had to change the name.
Yeah, I kind of remember that.
I can't remember. It's one of those things that I block out. But yeah, so the guitar player, the main guitar player and screamer is Greg Valencia, who I don't know. They're in the world of like Grimple and Logical Nonsense and Ojo Rojo. That just a fucking it's just
that super crusty Bay Area stuff.
Yeah, it's just real honest pain, anger, and like fuck you. Like I can't even describe it any other way. But it really is like my happy place. It's just because if there's something to just, I mean, it's just howling, screaming, but it's not. There's no posing. It's just like if you want to fucking wail on something, like holy shit. And I would recommend their whole album also, but I only have it on CD. But yeah, I would stand behind this band. Like they're probably my favorite band of the 90s.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they really put out, I mean, you know, their debut album was also their farewell album. Like there's not much out by them. It's
right.
Fucking rip.
Nice.
But yeah. So.
All right.
I like that kind of stuff.
Oh my God. It's like it's the real deal.
Yeah. Fits in with like I hate God.
It's so much more vicious than I Hate God. I hate God's on heroin, so they're like, right. These guys are probably shooting speed, so they're like, fuck, like you know, it's just the tempo and the feel. I mean, I like I Hate God too, but
yeah. For some reason, I always throw all those bands together, like El Lopa, Asbestos Death,
Buzz Oven.
I Hate God.
Yeah,
Buzz Oven, even Soil and Green and stuff like that. But they're all like related to me in some way. Like it came out at the same time,
right.
So it was like an overwhelming post hardcore crusty metal, which I really like.
Really love. When you said before, Dean, like you're like, oh, the 90s sucked.
my favorite band.
The 90s.
No. Listen. There are a handful of great records in the 90s. There are. It's just that the overall, you know, like when I hear people like, "Oh, 90s music is the best," I'm just like, "What the fuck are you talking?"
Well, those people are talking about like weird popular music, but the things that we all knew about and were listening to. I mean, there was so much garage punk in the 90s, like you know, like you were saying too about Helicopters, New Bomb Turks, you know, like that whole all of that stuff. I mean, I feel like. Yeah, but people who are talking about the 90s had great music. They're talking about like
I think it's starting to sort of look better because modern music is getting so bad that like the stuff from the 90s that we thought was bad in the 90s is starting to sound like much better now in retrospect. And
I guess I mean it's hard for me because even the stuff like the stuff that was called alternative in the 90s that got popular, like me personally, I just can't stand it. I like, and don't get me wrong, like I understand, like, and like I talk shit about like, you know, like bands like Boston and Journey. I am not unintelligent enough I realize they wrote great songs and I realize they could play, you know, it's like sure, yeah, these songs are great, I just don't like them. And I feel the same exact way about like Pearl Jam, Nirvana, Soundgarden. I fucking hate that stuff. I fucking hate it. Like when that stuff came, like I loved Mudhoney. I thought Mudhoney was great. It sounded like the fucking Stooges. They were great. But then all this shit came out on Sub Pop, and I was like, oh god, man, give me my money back. All this shit on Merge, all this shit on fucking Matador. Go fuck yourself. I want all my money back on this shit. Fucking garbage. Look, like totally forgettable fucking garbage. Like for every cool like John Spencer song, there's a million fucking songs like from these other bands that fucking suck, dude. It's like I just can't stand it. But that's me, and that's
I'm with you, Dean. I like what you're saying.
If it makes you feel any better, the worst live show I ever saw in my life was Boston at Madison Square Garden. They literally said nothing. They played and then they left. Like they didn't say hello, thank you. We're gonna like whatever.
That's kind of weird.
What are you doing? We're here.
All right.
See, like for me, the worst 2 shows I ever saw, which is 2 related bands. And I don't want to get too negative here, but I did really like these 2 bands' records, and both of their records when they came out. But the most disappointing shows I saw ever were the Pixies. I saw the Pixies twice in the original lineup, and they were fucking terrible. Like, absolutely, you could tell they just didn't like each other. And they fucking hate. I love those records. I think those records are amazing. When I saw them live, I was like, these guys hate each other and they don't want to be on stage, and this sucks. And then I saw later in life, I saw the Breeders, and it was awful. Oh my God, it was so awful. Like I wanted to like it. I was like, oh, I love those records. The Pod's great. I went to go see them. I'm like, holy shit, this band can't play at all. And it's like it'd be one thing if they could if they couldn't play and the songs were amazing. It's like, yeah, I remember Cannonball, and I'm gonna go.
Yeah. Dean Hambone is the one that gave me a tape of Pod. Yeah. He probably gave it to you too. That's how I got introduced to the Breeders.
I love that. I think that record's great. And Hambone, I already knew about the band, but I remember Hambone being really into that great version of Happiness is a Warm Gun. Is amazing. It's such a great version. And I you know, I love Kim Deal's voice. Like, I love it. And I love the Pixies records. I thought the Pixies records were great. And then seeing them live was so fucking disappointing. And it was just like, God damn, all these, like, even the good bands from this era, like that's how I felt. I was like, even the good bands from this era can't play. It's like awful. And don't get me wrong, I like bands that can't play. Like I love Flipper. I love fucking play. I love the Germs. I love you know the Shags. You know, I love that kind of. I love bands that can't. I love that. Like, that's what we're talking about. The first Meat Puppets record. Like, I couldn't play at all. It's amazing. It's amazing. Like, all I care about really is great songs. But if you can't put, it's not can't play. You can't perform.
Right.
Can't perform is the right word. So Slim Flipper, and even in '93 when I was in Karen Black and we played with Flipper in San Francisco, they were still fucked up. They still couldn't play at all. Like, it was amazing. It was amazing. It was amazing. They did a 45-minute set, and it was like 3 songs. It was incredible. It was like the most fall apart, most fucked up thing I've ever seen in my life. But they put on a show. It was so fucked up and so awesome, and like, I didn't get that from the Breeders. I didn't get that from the Pixies. I got like people who don't like each other on stage. I can honestly say, when I saw the Pixies the first time, the Happy Mondays, who I really didn't like at the time, like, I heard music, like, this isn't my kind of thing. They blew them off the fucking stage, Like, they were great. They were amazing. And to say that at that time, when I appreciate that stuff now, because I've grown up and learned to like music of all kinds. Well, at the time, I was like, Happy Mondays, I'm not into dance music, blah, 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 you know, whatever it was. And they blew them away. Saying something. But enough of my yapping. More yapping from me. Enough of my complaining. Here's this band, okay?
Dark Meditation.
From Seattle, Washington. Speaking of Sub Pop. They are not on Sub Pop. Their first record, Polluted Temples, was one of my picks of the year when it came out a couple of years ago. That was on Satanic Royalty Records, a friend of mine's label out of Seattle. This one they put out themselves. This is only this is an EP. It's like it's 12-inch, 45 RPM. It's only like 15 minutes of music. It's they put it out themselves. There's only 100 pressed of this record, so it's pretty cool. It comes with a booklet and all this cool shit in here. It's metal, but it's really goth. It's really gothy, like super gothy. Like, if you're a fan of, I think Diane might know this band, In Solitude. I thought In Solitude was fucking awesome. They were fucking awesome. Yeah, and I got to see them once. I got to see them on that Decibel tour with who was it with? Behemoth and some other band. I don't remember, but they were fucking amazing. And I love that band. And as soon as I saw them, like a week later, they broke up. After that tour, they broke up. So I was, so that was kind of disappointing. But full transparency here, me growing up, I didn't like goth stuff. Like, I wasn't a fan. I wasn't a fan of The Cure or Alien Sex Fiend or any of that kind of stuff. It's only until later in life that I really started to appreciate some stuff, like Sisters of Mercy and some Bauhaus and some stuff like that. Like I don't love it, but I like some of it, and I appreciate it a lot more now. And now I really am digging some of this goth metal kind of thing. Like I loved In Solitude, and then Unto Others I thought was a really cool band. And I thought Unto Others, I thought their last record was a little weak for me, but I thought that record before Strength and the first one before they were Unto Others as Idle Hands was amazing. This band is a little more on the In Solitude vein. Like they're heavy, they're kind of spooky, definitely spooky. But great players. They keep it dark. They do the Guitarmony thing a lot, the Thin Lizzy Guitarmony thing, but keep it dark, and it's really nice stuff. Obviously, because of the gothy thing and still being heavy, it has a little bit of the Damned in there, which I love too. Which I think Unto Others has too. I think Unto Others has a lot of the Damned in them, which is really cool. Which is why I like them a lot. So I highly recommend this band. I think they're great. I think this EP is just really like a teaser to hold over to their next record, but it's fantastic, and I think they're doing something a lot more interesting than there's plenty of cool bands doing the goth metal thing. And I think they're doing it the best. Like they're really doing it the best as far as playing goes. It's fun. So they're all cool bands. I like Devil Master out of Philadelphia, and I like a lot of those kind of bands who are incorporating this spooky, devil gothy, post Misfits, Damned kind of thing. But I think Dark Meditation are really doing it the best right now.
Yeah, wow. We were just talking about like El Dope had to change their name. Like Unto Others used to have another name, but I can't remember what they were called before. That's it.
Idle Hands.
Thank you. It was bugging me.
Idle Hands. And believe me, those guys do not stop every single show. They take the opportunity to be like, we still wish we were Idle Hands.
I don't know why they changed the name, but I wish they were still called Idle Hands too.
Yeah, they got sued by some other.
I was like, man, Unto Others, they used to be called something else. Yeah, Idle Hands. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Cool band. Yeah. Cool band. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Anything spooky on?
Spooky. It's funny that Gene, you mentioned Alien Sex Fiend, because I actually had that was in sort of my long list for today. I didn't pick it for today, but I had that in my pile of like maybe sometimes. So
I actually had thoughts of doing goth stuff too. I was like, just
I had a whole cape and everything planned, but I just didn't have time. I just went with the card t-shirt. I usually have like some kind of like thing on my head too. I didn't have time today. This t-shirt and the record were all I could pull up today.
It's funny because Mike's smoking clove cigarettes.
Can you smell
it? Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, here we go. Now this next one. Let me grab it from my pile back here. All right, this is really different. This is different for me. Trying to branch out. I'm trying not to always talk about the same kind of things. So this one I like tracked down. I found that it was at a record store, and then I realized it was like a record store in Philly, which isn't that far from me. So like I ordered it on their little thing on Discogs, and I was like in-store pickup, and I was so excited, and I went to pick it up. So anyway, this is like new to me.
Oh, beautiful.
And it is Vodka, Todos Contra Todos. This is from 2015 Beach Impediment Records, a label that has like just nonstop great stuff. And this is basically like D-Beat, this is like in Finnish hardcore inspired from Texas, but all sung completely in Spanish. And it's really, awesome. really, really, really great. And the thing, I mean, of course, this is what it reminds me of. What I think is the best probably D-Beat album is like Hear Nothing, See Nothing, Say Nothing. It reminds me of that, like, but not like total copy like every other D-Beat band. It's just like a little more special, a little bit different. that's what I got to say, and I just love everything about the way it looks. It's like exactly what you want, from the way it looks to the way it sounds. And I'm trying to see if it came with any like extra special stuff, just like cool, everything's cool in there. And I think that people in this band were in other bands from Texas too over the years, but I can't remember. It's just great from start to finish. Just great.
Awesome. Great guitar playing on that record.
I love that stuff.
Yeah. It's like what I call metallic, but when I say that, I don't mean metal. I mean it's like that crunchy metallic that's good in punk. Do you know what I mean when I say that? Like,
totally, 100%. Like Discharge, GBH.
Yeah. Like it doesn't. It's not at all to me sound like what metal is, but it's metallic, so it's like shiny.
Like buzzsaw kind of guitars.
Yeah, love it.
One of the members is like, or at least one member is in Ninth Circle now. If you've heard Ninth Circle, which is a total like,
I have not,
a metal band in the kind of vein of what Dean was talking about earlier. Ninth Circle is a great kind of metallic. Yeah,
so that
I think that record stands out because it has a lot of like ripping guitar work on it and melody. It has a bit more melody than a lot of D-beat records from that era.
Yeah, it's just like I said, it's not my usual thing like these days, but it's just great. I was so excited to discover it and to find it, to be able to go pick it up at my record store nearby, and not have to like, I don't know. I know that's stupid, but like, don't you like to just get it at the record store? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that is absolutely not stupid at all. It's absolutely the coolest thing ever. Like, I wish there was. I live in Nowheresville now. There's no record store. The closest record store is in Albany. Albany. Or I have to go. Actually, there's a new great record store in Accord, which is still like an hour and a half.
How far from Albany are you?
I'm only like 35 minutes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it's I mean, Albany's no great shakes, but Troy, which is kind of a fucked up town, but has cool stuff going on. Troy has this really cool venue called No Fun, and I saw a bunch of cool shows there. I saw Night Demon with Satan there, and I saw Witch from Zambia there. That was awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then there was also another little bar that wasn't really a great venue, but it was a cool little bar, and I saw the Crosses there. And from D. Kreuzen's band came through, and that was wild. That was amazing. That was totally killer. Like it was insane to see that. I was losing my mind seeing the first D. Kreuzen album being played live. It was just like, even though it was just Dan, it was just like awesome. So,
well, that's
guitar player from Dr. Shrinker.
Oh my God, really?
Yes.
Mastermind. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting stuff.
All right. Wow.
And it looks cool behind me too. Like,
it looks cool.
It's like I said, I was like so excited. It was the first time I'd ever gone to that particular record store in Philly called Common Beat. Like in a completely, I mean, I've lived near Philly for like the last like 30 years. I'd never been to this part of Philadelphia ever. Like I was like, I don't even know where I am. I have no idea what this is. And it was like really cool. Just the whole experience, like discovering a different part of Philly. Like how did I not ever, and like this little store. And the guy was like, I gotta go to my lunch and get my lunch. So I have to close the store for a couple minutes. Can everybody just stand outside while I go next door to get my lunch? So like, and we were like, okay. So we went outside and he went next door and got his lunch, and then he came back in. And then I was like chattering away. And usually like the people at the record store like chatter back, but he was like pretty mellow and he was just like, yeah, cool. Oh yeah, that's cool.
He wanted to eat.
Yeah.
Wow. So talking about things that I don't usually show this kind of thing on this show, but I kind of listen to a lot of this music in, privately. I don't really show.
Your soul.
Yes. But pop punk. I feel like people don't really think I'm a sort of pop punk kind of guy, but I actually do listen to quite a lot of pop punk. It's a wide net. There's a lot of different kinds of pop punk. Some are great, and some of it's the worst music like ever made. This
Worse than Boston. I mean,
it's
come
a
on.
wide pie chart. But this band I've been wanting to talk about for a long time, and for some reason I never got around to it. I play this record a lot. They're from Long Island. They are a pop punk band. Okay, so great band name too, and kind of spooky cover. It's got the horns, but and it's kind of it looks like this. Iron Chic.
Oh, I know that band.
Oh yeah.
CHIC.
I got something by them.
Chic. So yeah, they are a pop punk band, but yeah, this ain't like Blink 182 or some Happy by the Beach pop punk. This is like dark, gloomy, melancholic. Just fucking, I don't know. It's like it's both depressing and uplifting at the same time. It's one of those kind of records. I know that they wrote this record just after one of their like original members passed away, and there's a lot of that in the lyrics and stuff about mortality and life and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, this record like does something to me. It is pop punk. It's really nice, like fuzzy guitar tone too.
Yeah,
on this record, I think they're a great. It's like I was trying to think of like a clever kind of descriptor to kind of sum up this, and I kind of kept failing in my efforts. You know, it's like adult pop punk doesn't really work, or like winter pop punk. None of it really worked, but it just has this sort of darkness to it that you don't find in a lot of pop punk.
Adult contemporary pop punk.
Yes, I had a big list. I was like, nah, it doesn't. It's like pop punk for the over 50s. Like, well, most pop punk is made by the over 50s. It's like,
depressive, suicidal pop punk.
Nice.
DSPP.
So yeah, like I've been meaning to talk about this record for a long time. It's their third record. It's on Side One Dummy, isn't Side One Dummy?
Oh yeah.
Heaven Seconds label. Is that right?
No. Side One Dummy is someone from I forget from the Warped Tour.
Yeah, it's like that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty big label.
Yes.
Side One Dummy is pretty big. It's like
right. Exactly.
They've been around a long time. When I used to work for Go Kart, we used to talk to them all the time, and now I'm forgetting who they are. But they were part of the Warped Tour. They were like some people who started the Warped Tour.
Yeah, it's kind of a big sort of more kind of commercial.
Yes.
And I mean, they're on this label for this record, but maybe don't quite fit. I mean, it does. I haven't listened to like Jawbreaker or Sam I Am or Dillinger 4 for a long time, but it's definitely in that sort of darker, more morose kind of like pop punk. But it's great record, great band, absolutely killer. So I'm going to do like a cheeky twofer. I bought this other record and I was like, this record has reminded me of something. And I was like, sat there, I was like, man, what is it about this record? It reminds me of some other band. And it's like two members of Iron Chic, Adult Magic. So
I don't know that. I don't know that at all.
Yeah, they're also, it's like two members of Iron Chic doing kind of similar, not as depressing as Iron Chic, but also like very nicely done. Like
there you go. Daniel Zambrano just brought it up. Joe Sib from Wax, an old friend of mine. Now I remember. So Joe Sib from Wax.
There you go.
He was a singer. He was a singer from Wax, and they started Side One Dummy.
I don't know why I thought it was Kevin Second's record label. Maybe they kept.
I think they put out some later Kevin Second.
Okay, there you go. That's probably why. Okay. Yeah. So this ended up being like a Long Island, like twofer of like really good, like pop punk of a certain style, but I'm really not quite sure how to describe.
I feel like it's more like punk pop than pop punk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do.
I feel like that kind of puts it into like the different.
It's just has this different feel to it. It's like I do like Screeching Weasel, and I like that kind of Ramones like leather jacket pop punk too. But this is definitely like not that. It has a just totally different. It's not like Party Time, It's almost like gothic pop punk almost.
Yeah.
When did I also has more in common with like rock proper in some ways than like the other stuff. Not like, I mean, it's not like rock, but it definitely kind of like if you were putting everything, making a line in the sand, it would kind of fall over onto
I think also
that
like
side.
no Ramones influence at all. It's also maybe another indicator.
Right,
Sort of,
right.
You're right. Yeah, it is like more rocky and darker. Anyway, but I love both these bands, Iron Chic, Adult Magic, 2 great bands.
Cool.
Yeah, I haven't heard Adult Magic. I'm writing that one down.
Good stuff. Good stuff. It's on Dead Broke Records, which Dead Broke Records puts out a lot of good records on the melodic.
Yeah, I think the Iron Chic album that I have is maybe their first one was on Dead Broke.
Dead Broke Records. Right.
Dead Broke Records.
And Squeaky is right that Wax had that music video, that awesome music video with the guy on fire and slow motion was amazing. It was so cool.
Wow.
And Daniel Zambrano said there's more in common with stuff like Lawrence Arms, Off with Their Heads. So that makes sense. That makes sense totally. Yep. Plus, they're from Long Island, so they definitely have songs about pizza. They have songs about being in traffic. Songs about going to SUNY Albany or SUNY Binghamton. Stuff like that.
Like going to Jones Beach.
Yeah, going to Jones Beach on the way. Going to Bagel Boss. Pick up whitefish salad.
I understand the words, but
it's very, very, very Long Island. Super Long Island.
Long Island.
Long Island.
Long Island.
I don't miss it. I grew up there. I don't miss it at all.
Oh yeah.
Not for a second. Not for 1 second.
All right, where are we?
Diane,
yes.
I'm here.
Diane, it's your next pick.
How about that record?
Oh, None More Black. Oh,
Sun Voyager.
Sun Voyager, New York.
I know those guys.
Yay.
Played with them a few times.
Have you?
Awesome. Oh, yeah. I played with them twice already. And a matter of fact, Stefan, the bass player, like every time I see him, I'm like, hey, I have your speaker cable that you let me borrow. I have to get it back to you. He's like, don't worry about it. But I always have to bother him about it.
Well, they're playing at the wood shop tomorrow.
Yeah, so I'm stuck. I'm stuck with an air bubble in my eye. I can't do any traveling. So I've been stuck here for over 2 months. So it's
man.
Damn.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is from 2022.
Mm-hmm.
They're from New York. They're a 3-piece.
They're a 4-piece. They're a 4-piece now live.
I just saw them.
Oh really? They had a
song. I saw them within a month ago, and they were a 3-piece.
They're a 3-piece again. Okay, because I saw it last time they played they had 2 guitar players.
Oh no, it was. I don't know. Maybe it didn't show. It was in a very small place. I saw them in a brewery near me.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
and it was very small. So maybe they didn't. Maybe they uninvited the other guitar. You can't come. It's too small.
Too small, yeah.
But so yeah, this is heavy psych kind of. It's good. I like it. It's pretty fast overall. It's not like I went to this gig not knowing who they were and knowing the name of the headlining band.
Oh.
And left during the headlining band and bought the records.
Who was the headlining band?
I'm not going to mention that. I've just given them.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is. They were more up and more fuzzy and more in your face than I had thought. I thought it was more of like a stoner bill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But they're kind of more on like the, I don't know, like White Hills tip, something like that.
Yeah, totally.
Like,
totally.
So yeah.
They're
and
good. They're really good.
They are good, and they've got pretty labels. It is black vinyl, but they have like the nice pre-color labels. So that's all I have to show you in terms of that. But yeah, lots of distortion, lots of there's an overwhelming amount of wah on this record. Like it's just, but it all fits together very nicely.
Yeah, they definitely make it work.
Yeah, and it's in a way it's really very simple, and I was sort of confounded. I was like, I do really like this, and it was just whying me out. But it was super cool. But yeah, I'm not much for like stoner that really gets slow and just. I mean, I don't get stoned, so I just get annoyed.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Right.
I understand. They do have a little bit, whether they know it or not, they do have a little bit of Simon Faulkner's hilarious. It was Boston, wasn't it? The headlining band. Thank you, Simon. That is hilarious. But that band, Sun Voyager, does have a little bit of that krautrock thing going on.
Yeah, they kind of do.
They have that like noise,
that driving, like
yeah, which I like. That's what I like about them. They have this like kind of krautrocky thing going on. It's almost like if Fu Manchu was into krautrock.
Ooh, nice.
It's like sort of like
they kind of remind me of in a way like the Aardvarks.
Oh yeah. I could see that.
Like that older kind of
Yeah, that's cool. That's a great comparison. I like that.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah, I like that band, and they're also really nice guys. Like I played with them twice, and they've always been incredibly nice. And I run into Stefan
tomorrow at the Wood Shop in New York. Everybody who's in New York, you should go see them. They're nice guys.
I haven't been to the Wood Shop yet. I heard it's pretty cool.
I haven't either.
The Wood Shop is the place in between the Meadows and the Monarch, right?
I don't know.
They're all on the same street. It's like and it's like the Wood Shop is the tinier space in between the two.
And I'll tell you what sucks is that like my apartment in Brooklyn is literally like 3 blocks away from there, but I can't go. I have to stay upstate.
And like that's where like between those 3 places, like literally everything is like at those spots these days. Or there's like 1 or 2 other places in that neighborhood too. It's like you don't have to go anywhere.
It's like Our
else.
Wicked Lady is right around the corner.
Right.
There used to be another spot too, and there was also that was all the same area where the Acheron was and the Well. Those places all closed. Acheron closed, obviously.
Yeah.
That place was amazing. And,
yeah, that was a great place.
The Well was open for a short time, and that's gone now. I don't know what's going on there. But
I'm going to be going to see Insect Arc is playing in the Wood Shop
with Thorn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to go to that. I like Insect Arc a lot.
We should go, Dean.
Things are really weird right now for me. Really weird. I haven't worked, and I've worked maybe 4 weeks in the last 6 months. So because I've had this eye situation, it's a mess. But good news is it's coming to an end. So this too shall pass, and I'll be back to being somewhat Abby normal.
Dean on the scene again.
Hope so.
All right.
You're always Abby normal, though.
Abby normal. Someone. Abby normal. But I'll bring up. I'm going to bring up my my choice here. We talked about Savage Master before, and Savage Master is on tour when they're done. Well, they're coming on tour right now with this band. This is the Night record.
Night.
The Night is from the Bay Area, from San Francisco, Oakland area. The drummer. This is also a beautiful copy too. Let me see what's going on here. So this is called Cult of the Serpent Sun, and it's on Season of Mist, basically a major label now for metal.
Oh yeah,
beautiful stuff, right? Yeah, it's beautiful, right? Can you see that?
That's nice. It's very rich looking.
Yeah, it looks like some sort of expensive French dessert. So I'm friendly with 3 of the guys in the band. It's a 4-piece band. The drummer Patrick, also known as Ginger Vitus, used to work with Diane and I when we were at Gimme Metal. He had a radio show there, and he's a great drummer and a great guy with great taste. This Night record is probably up in a lot of people's album of the year already because it's that good. It's really that good. When I say it's really that good, songs are amazing, and it has ridiculous crossover appeal. And when I say that, the vocals are very like, the vocals fit into the black and death metal realm. Like his vocals, to me, he reminds me a lot of like Jeff from Carcass. A little more enunciated though. A little more, a little more enunciated. So they fit into that mold of like black and death, but the music really isn't black and death. Like those guys can play that stuff, but basically, it's like classic heavy hard rock with like black metal kind of carcassy kind of vocals, and it's amazing. Like again, guitar harmonies galore. These guys love Thin Lizzy, so there's guitar harmonies galore all over this record, and there really isn't too much super fast stuff to hit in that black metal territory or even death metal territory. It really is like mid-tempo. It's almost at the point where like some of the songs I'm listening, I'm like, this could be a fucking Dokken song. It's just different kind of vocals. Like the vocals are making it extreme metal, but it could fit into like almost like this commercial metal zone. And for that reason, because the songs are so good and the production is fucking fantastic, the playing is top notch, and the songs are really great, memorable parts, memorable melodies. And like the reason why this is getting touted as album of the year for some people is because it's so accessible in a way. It's like almost like an accessible metal record with like, I mean, there's a whole world in metal that I don't even know about going on, like with these bands, like, you know, like what are these bands? I don't even know what these bands are. Like metalcore bands that basically are gigantic, but I don't even know that scene at all. There's only a few bands, but they could kind of fit in there in a way. They're way more metal. They're not jockey or like kids or anything. They look metal, and they, you know, the whole thing is metal. It's not like some of these other bands that I see on that are really popular or really like kind of really young jockey kids doing metallic metalcore stuff. And they're not metalcore. They are a heavy metal band. Right. You know, but I think this band could really be huge in less than better terms, because the songs are so good. And you could totally understand why it's in so many top 3, top 5 albums of the year for people. And the good news is that they're great dudes. They're really cool dudes. So I'm wishing them the best. So highly recommended.
What's the name of the record, Dean? Night?
Cult of the Serpent Sun.
Okay.
The band is Night, Nite, and it's also it's on Season of Mist. So easy to find. Easy to find. Season of Mist is basically, you know, like Century Media or Nuclear Blast now. They're basically a heavy metal major label without being really a major label. Right. It's great. It's still a great label. The packaging's amazing, and I think they do right by their band. So
cool
stuff.
All right, beautiful. All right, Anne, what you got?
All right, here we go. I put my records like just a little too far.
Oh, Dean, I think
Little Life wants to see the record cover.
Yes, again. There you go.
Can you see that? Let's see if I.
There you go.
Is that all right? It looks like Nile, which is kind of weird.
For a split
it looks like Nile. So if you're a metal fan, you're like, "Is that Nile?" You know, but no, it is not Nile. It is Night. And really cool record.
All right.
I just looked that up. I'm like the researcher over here for whenever I'm on. There is another band that's with the same name, Night, Nite, that are like, it said they're like synth goth.
Makes sense.
Kind of thing, like happening right at the same exact time with the same spelling. So, because I looked it up and I was like, oh, wow, okay, wait. And I'm like, oh, no, that's not what he's talking about.
That happens a lot, but I think all the names are taken.
They are.
All the names.
As a matter of fact, that is. I'm guarantee if I went on Bandcamp right now, there'd be 3 Sweeping Tariffs.
I was going to say, except Sweeping Tariffs, but it's already gone.
No, guarantee.
Well, maybe we should start a new band called Boston and make it good.
Or Boston NY.
With two N's
PA.
or something. Yeah.
Boston Junior.
Boston cream.
That would be good.
All right, sorry.
That's good.
All right, there's a lot. We can go in many ways with that. I like it though. I like my own idea.
Yes. I'm a fan of Boston cream.
Okay, my next record. This is okay. So this is my next one. So this is I have like 3 things I have to decide on. So I'm gonna do this one, and I wrote notes about it. Okay, so this is this band is. Oh, I'm so terrible at showing the record. Why can't I ever hold it the right way?
It's light.
Right.
Yeah, it's not.
Okay. Yeah, my light is bad. It's Tipex, 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 which apparently there's like a boy band with that name too.
Tipex.
So like if you look it up, Tipex. And okay, so and then like the back is just like a ton of stuff written on the back, and it's really cool. And it's on like what is like my favorite label practically right now, Flexi Discos from Spain. And I pretty much want to move to Spain because like especially like Valencia, because like every time I'm on this show I've talked about a band from this scene in Spain right now. They from the Flexi Discos. There's so much amazing stuff going on over there. I want those bands to come here, or I need to go over there.
And is that band from Valencia?
Yes. Here, this is a better way to see it. The guy who owns and started and runs Flexi Discos, his name is Oscar. This is his band. Now he's in a ton of bands that are like grindcore and crust, like Zanussi and Derota and Future Terror. But this is not grindcore. This is not crust at all. This is, dare I say it, kind of egg punk. Little bit because I'm obsessed with egg punk. I'm sorry, but not exactly. There's a lot of like rip-off style riffs, like a little like kind of classic rip-off record style riffs going on in there. More maybe like more in common with like Mujeres Podridas, and like Finale, which is a record I wanted to talk about, and then I looked on the list and I saw somebody had talked about it not that long ago, so I was like, all right, I won't talk about that one. But definitely more in that kind of like style of music, just like sort of like more like trebly punk, you know, crunchy guitar. There's even like a little bonesy 1, 2, 3, 4 going on, but you know, but like I said, he's in all these other bands. All of his other bands are like grindcore, crust, hardcore. So this is like really different for like his kind of thing. They're a 3-piece, and I watched some videos. They look really cool, and that's pretty much all I have to say. It's pretty cool.
And have you been to Valencia?
I have never been to Spain. No.
Gotta go.
Never been to Spain. Let's start singing.
Spain is the best. Spain is amazing, and Valencia is awesome. Valencia is like the birthplace of paella.
Oh, I don't know if I want to. I don't know. Would I like paella?
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. Is paella vegetarian?
You can get it vegetarian. You can get a vegetarian, but I mean,
you don't know how to use it.
There you go. Diane is singing "Never Been to Spain." So I recommend this if you like your punk eggy, and if you like it with a little bit of rip-off records or riffs in there, and like I said, if you check out Flexi Discos, like please look for their records. I've talked about other stuff over the last bunch of times I've been on that label. It's just really there's a lot of like exciting stuff going on over there.
Spanish punk is quite a constant on this show. There's so many good bands coming out from.
I think if you looked at every time I've been on, I have spoken about a Spanish punk band every single time. So. Yeah. So
Tipex.
It's not the boy band, so don't get mixed up.
All right. God damn it. It's the last round already. Where did the time go? All right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
No. Okay. Settle down. Bedtime story. Once upon a time, there was a band from the UK called Satan's Rats.
Oh, Yeah.
77 punk band. They only had like a couple of, they had 3 7-inches out, like 77, 78, tail end of like the first wave of punk.
Yeah.
Funny, like one of their songs, The Upright Citizens from Germany.
Yeah, I know that band.
Covered like one of their songs on their first LP, You Make Me Sick. I think that's maybe how a lot of people came across Satan's Rats. And I think they must have been on a Killed by Death comp. They must have been, or a Killed by Death kind of comp. They must have been. If they haven't been, it's an absolute travesty. They must have been.
They were on, I think, a comp, an Action Time Vision.
Okay.
One of those, that's like with a bunch of discs that has like a nice book with it.
Yeah, I didn't look it up too much. They must have been like, because their songs are like better than a lot of the songs that are on some of the comps, some of these. But anyway, one day, a beautiful woman came along and joined the Satan's Rats, and the Satan's Rats changed their name. And they made an amazing, like, new wave, punky power pop record in 1980. You can tell it's from 1980 just by looking at it. And it's the photos.
I've seen that record.
I have too.
This is probably one that you've probably seen in the $1 bin or the $3 bin. Get it. If you see it, get it. It's just this amazing, like, new wavy, punky power pop record from 1980. There's even some like sort of reggae beats in there. There's like strings in there, but like we talked about, it's all about the songs. The songs are so good. There's definitely some Blondie and Ramones in here. You can kind of hear it. Very obvious sort of influence. Amazing singer like Wendy Wu. There she is. She went on to have like a solo career. But it's cool that the Satan's Rats, bam, boom, changed the name to the photos. Major label. It's on it's Epic Records. Yeah, 1980.
They're a London band.
They're from Worcestershire, where the source comes from. Yeah. It's funny though because there's a song on here called Maxine, and I haven't pinpointed sort of the exact nuance to this song, but it's talking about anarchy in Birmingham, right? Because Worcestershire is kind of near Birmingham. So it's anarchy in Birmingham. Where are your friends, Maxine? Anarchy is dead now. Anarchy is dead in Birmingham. So I don't know if it's talking about like they think punk is dead, or are they talking about punks in Birmingham who have like turned their back on punk. Now it's like 1980. I can't quite catch the sort of the nuance of that song, but it's pretty cool to like hear this new wave band saying like anarchy in Birmingham, like on this main people record. But this might be hard for like stateside residents. The version you got to get is the UK version because it has a bonus record on it called the Blackmail Tapes. And the Blackmail Tapes is a straight up punk rock record in the vein of like Penetration or something like that.
Yeah.
It's the first the first we ever made recorded completely live in the studio, but it sounds amazing. It's one of those amazing like live in the studio recordings. The band had been together just 2 months, recording in a garage somewhere in Worcestershire, and they pumped out these songs in the studio, recorded it. And so if you can try and get the UK, if you see the UK version, because it's this record by itself is a great like punk record, the second disc. Yeah. And there's a version of Do You Wanna Dance on this that is faster than the Ramones version.
Nice.
It doesn't necessarily mean it's better, but it's just faster. It's just faster, Some of it sounds like the Damned or the Buzzcocks, but this is like 1979, March 79. But it kind of sounds like, I keep thinking Penetration. It's not kind of late era, like first wave of UK punk. So this record just by itself is worth the price of admission. Plus you get this other great like new wavy like power pop record too. So try and get the UK version if you can. But even if you see the US version, though, get that too, because it's probably like $3 everywhere. Major label, press thousands of them. So yeah, so that's what happened to the Satan's Rats. And there's another record that I don't know the exact. Yes, okay. Daniel's talking about it. There's a second record called Crystal Tips that didn't quite get released properly, and Crystal Tips and Mighty Mice.
Both great names, Crystal Tips and Mighty Mice.
Which
love that.
It's not easy to get on vinyl, but I mean, it's one of those records, right? You've seen it, right, in the dollar bin or the $3 bin.
I've seen that Photos record before.
Yeah,
yeah, I have too.
Yeah, and it's like, it's probably like some middle of the road, like boring new wave record. It's really, really good. Like, pick it up if you see it next time. Ex Satan's Rats.
Satan's Rats.
Yeah. All right, Diane, what's your last?
All right.
What you got?
I'm in the same. We're going to 1980.
Oh, cool.
This one. Fad Gadget.
Oh shit!
Oh, wow.
I almost did
Really?
Fad Gadget today too.
Cool
Really?
Fad Gadget. It's got my sound sticker on it. $2.49.
Look at that.
A sticker that never comes off.
record. Never.
Well, sometimes they do, but I didn't try. Oh my god! Wait, look.
What is happening now?
Oh, because like the glue now has died, and that's the only reason it's going to come off.
I just got half it off right now. Look at that! It's amazing. The sound record.
Power of television.
That's the first one I've ever seen come off.
But I can see that I don't want to push it. But anyway, so this is the first album by Fad Gadget, and this was a full banger.
I have no idea who that is, by the way.
So Frank Tovey is
that. No, saying
is
something.
this guy. And he took on the name Fad Gadget. He had a full band for this. I'm not sure how long he hung on to the band.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first album. He was actually the first Mute artist, Mute Records.
Yeah.
This is his. There was a 7-inch that came out before this, Back to Nature, Back with the Box, and the box is on this album. That was Mute Records number 2.
Mm.
The normal Warm Leather at TVOD is Mute Records number 1, but that's Daniel Miller, who owns Mute Records, who started the label. So Fad Gadget's really the first artist on Mute.
Wow.
And Frank Tovey, I love fucking Fad Gadget. They're so, it's like deviant pop electronics.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he completely embraces the paranoia of being human. Like he sings about all the shit that you think is fucked up, and he sings, and it's creepy as hell, and it's great. And he died really young. He died of a heart attack at like 45 or 50, like really young. He was probably maybe one of the first punks that I heard of dying, kind of. And I do put him in the whole punk category. But just brilliant and smart. I did see them. I saw them in probably 1980 or 81 in Bloomfield, New Jersey at the Dirt Club.
Whoa.
And Robert Gotobed, who plays with Wire, was his drummer.
Wow.
And he climbs, so he does Lux Interior better than Lux Interior does. He swallows the microphone. He hangs from the ceiling. This dude was out of his mind. Like,
he took his pants off.
He's done it all. And Frank Tovey was a sound collage artist, and he went to school for mime.
Oh, that's amazing.
So he's just all art and just like this life. This life is just affecting him. And I love all of their records.
Wow.
And this is their first one. And it's all mostly creepy. So where it has like the band listed and what they play, and it's like voice, synthesizer, tapes, drum machine, ashtray, metal chair, shaver, banjo, metal chair, fingers, ashtray, studio drums, extra percussion. So yeah.
That's hard. Those are hard to find, the records, though, right? Because the only one I think I own is the 12-inch of Ricky's Hand, which I think is like the greatest song ever.
The last time I saw
But like, I only have the rest of the stuff. I only have on CD.
The last time I saw Ministry, they covered Ricky's Hand.
Really?
Which they get points for, I have to say.
Cool.
Yeah.
I have all their stuff on vinyl, but I bought it when it came out. So I don't know about difficulty or.
Yeah, I was like found out about a little bit later.
Yeah, those records are not.
I'll take what I can get.
What'd you say, Dean?
Those records are not easy to find. Fat Gadget records.
I have them.
Yeah.
I will die with them.
But I mean, I was listening to even like the last album is like Gag.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
right? That's a really good. I mean, like I said, I have it on CD. It's really good. It's really like they're all really good.
I have their stuff on CD also. It's just one of those things, But there's just such his life experience and his view of the world is just like fucked up. And you can understand it all. He's not shrieking. He's not screaming. He's talking. Yeah. And it's just like, ooh, what did he say? I thought he said that. Like, really, really great. So, twisted, deviant, quirky. So, and a lot of the stuff, like the beginning of the record, almost, what is the name of the first track? The track Pedestrian has this little quiet part starting, and it almost sounds like The Baby Screams by The Cure. It's got this little like, it's like, a lot of this, the rhythms and the songs are catchy, but then you hear the lyrics and you're like, oh, dude. So I love them.
Cool.
Awesome.
All right, Dean, what's your last pick?
So, my last choice is the only record I picked up that was older. It's not that old. It was released in like 1997. This is a reissue because I didn't have it on vinyl.
The last century.
Yeah, this is a band from Montreal. Ricky Wu from Montreal. I don't know if you could see that. This is Sometimes I Cry. So this was this record came out. I forget what the original label on. This is a reissue on Below the Fuse, 2020. Because I had it on CD, and they eventually signed to TP Records when Tony Persato was when I was in the Brought-Low and producing the Bad Wizard stuff as well. We were all on the same label, and we were supposed to play a big show together. Unfortunately, the week before that show happened is 9/11, so that show did not happen. But this record came out, this Tricky Woo record, and I was working at a record store that was part of Go Kart Records, Soapbox Records on St. Mark's Place. And I was getting all these, we'd get promos in all the time, from all these different labels. And this one came in and absolutely blew me the fuck away. This is like high energy rock and roll, very high energy rock and roll, like MC5. It's like Helicopters, all the good stuff from of that kind of ilk. And they have some amazing songs on here, like nonstop energy. And it's funny because I remember specifically this record coming out and falling in love with it, and then they signed to TP, and then I remember Tony giving me the next record, and it was good, but it was almost as if their energy was gone. It was almost as if like they just the energy was gone, and they put out like this. They went from a 4-piece to a 3-piece and went really like almost like mellow, weird psychedelic. It's good. It's really good. It's just not this record. This record is like over the top, full throttle, MC5, like fucking full on rock and roll. It's amazing. Like fucking fantastic songs, fantastic singing, fantastic performances. Like really over the top. And I'm in love with this record, and then I realized, I went to go listen to it, and realized, I only have this on CD somewhere, wow. And then I was like, I gotta get it on vinyl, so I actually ordered it from some Canadian store before sweeping tariffs. It wasn't that bad. Wasn't that bad. It was only like, you know, like you buy records, you buy records online now. It's still $35, $40.
It's insane.
But now with the sweeping tariffs, we'll be paying like $60 a record. But this record, this Tricky Woo record, is absolutely over the top, fantastic, like high energy rock and roll. Highly recommended. It definitely satisfies. Great band. Great. The vocals are just out of control, over the top, and really a fantastic record.
Killer.
Cool.
I remember when they came out, I was like, the name threw me.
Yeah, it was through me.
Like I was like, they're either like sound like the Happy Mondays, you know, or like maybe they're like rap. You know, like I was like so thrown by
also,
yeah, like
also,
and the font and the way
this looks like an indie rock record, right? Like I saw this record when this CD came to me. I was like, oh, what is this going to be like? I don't know. It could, you know, you're absolutely right. This could be like, it could sound like Dinosaur Jr. It could sound like Brian Jonestown Massacre. It could sound like any of that stuff, but it's not. This is like fucking. It is over the top, high energy rock and roll. But you were absolutely right. I saw the name and I saw the album cover, and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
I completely avoided it for years.
I couldn't
believe
how good this was. When I was at the record store, like people used to get annoyed in a good way, but people used to get annoyed because I used to play that and Apocalypse Dudes over and over and over. The difference was we couldn't get that record in, but I ended up selling like in a tiny store, which maybe 3 people came in a day. I ended up selling like 25 copies of that fucking Apocalypse Dudes record. I have friends who still, to this day, I forced them to buy it. To this day, they thank me. They're like, I didn't know this band. I had no idea, and this record totally changed my life. That unfortunately we didn't have that one. I wish we had that one too, but couldn't get it. Cool stuff.
I wish I've got to watch the episode back now. I wish I'd been like Anne and taken some memos.
I can I have all my little
anyway,
notes.
so
Anne's taking minutes.
I'm the minute taker, and I'm also like the researcher because I have like a couple of screens.
Oh yeah,
many screens.
All right, and it's the last bit of the day. What?
All right. I have to decide which of these the 3 things that I have here. But no, this is the one I wanted. This is the first one that I like thought about talking about. I actually almost talked about this last time. So here it is. So this is a band called the Knicks. If anybody, I figured out how to show the record. I have to cover my face, and then you can see the record. This is the Knicks, and the little circle thing. What do you call that? That thing that they stick on that promo sticker. It's not a sticker. It's actually on the record. It is part of the cover. It says complete 1980-91 recordings by the first Dutch all-girl punk band.
Cool.
So this came out in 2008. It's a double album. It's got a whole big old thing in there, and it also has inside here has like a lot of good information that you can learn about. But there also, if you look them up, you'll find there's like a bunch of art, like interviews from when this came out, with them talking all about like their history. So basically, it is like Dutch punk, and it was like part of the Utrecht scene, but they call it like Utrecht. I don't know if that's how you pronounce.
No,
Utrecht.
you don't.
But they called it like Utrecht punk, and they were around from 79 to 84, and there's always gonna be people saying it's like Kleenex. I mean, it's not really like Kleenex. I mean, like it's in the same like circle, but I feel that it sounds more like Honeybane or Fatal Microbes.
Okay.
Which is British.
Oh wow.
Early punk, women singing punk. I feel that it has more in common with that than Kleenex, but it's really, really, really good. And I just think everybody should know about them if you don't know about them.
I didn't know about
that
You do
is,
now, thanks to you. That's I mean,
yeah, I mean, it's like punk, punk, post-punk. What do you want to say? That kind of those words, whatever they mean, post-punk. But yeah. Oh, the way they first came like to people's like knowledge was they were on that Killed by Epitaph. See that episode, that release of Killed by Death, the Killed by Epitaph. They have one
the
song
LP,
on
right?
that. Yes.
Oh God, I'm ashamed to say I actually have that record.
Oh, I have that too. And then Epitaph actually put out something of theirs like after that.
Oh wow.
But this is on Polly Magoo Records, and this is just like a collection of like live stuff that was on compilations, and then a bunch of things that was just never released at all. So yeah, way more greedy than Kleenex. Yeah, it's more rough. It's not. Yeah, I love Kleenex like crazy, but it's not quite. It's like the only thing that anybody could ever think of. It's like the raincoats, it's not. But it's really good, and yeah, I highly recommend it. So that's my last
cool record. I got to hear that.
Me too.
Yeah, me too.
There they are in the back. All right, I have to move my little things down. I have my little display case here.
There we have it. It was a great show. Wasn't it a fun time, everybody?
Yeah.
Of course it was a fun time. It's never not a fun time on this show. It's always a fun time. 20 great records for everyone to go and check out. If you've not heard some of these records, go and check them out. Buy them if you can. Support your local record shop, your local distro, even though there's, what's the word? Sweeping tariffs. Do what you can. Support your local label, your local band, your local record store if you can. Check out all these new bands and old groups. There's a lot of old stuff. A lot of old stuff still to get to too. There's a lot of great music.
Too much.
Slow down.
No.
It's good. It's overwhelming at times, but I'm so happy that not only is there still great new bands and still great new records, I'm also really happy that these labels decided to reissue a lot of this stuff.
Yes.
Like when I was growing up, I'd go into stores and you couldn't buy, I'm looking at records like the Count 5 Psychotic Reactions, like $80. I'm like, I'm not going to buy that. And luckily, someone reissued it, so I could buy it a little later. I could buy 13th Floor Elevator records for $30 rather than $300.
Definitely a pro reissue record person. I'm not one of these people that's like, oh no, I only want the original. Nah, bring them on. If it's a good, well done reissue, bring them on. Well,
listen, I love finding originals, but I'm all for people reissuing these on vinyl. Usually it sounds better anyhow. Usually does.
All right, we're probably going to keep on chatting for a little bit after the cameras stop rolling.
Absolutely.
We'll be back next week with another show. We're here every Friday night in America. It's always Saturday morning for me. It's always 10 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure you tune in. Same time next Friday. See you next time. Until next time.
Thanks for tuning in,
everybody.
Tune in. That's not the catchphrase. Stay healthy and stay